The Arkansas Razorback offense certainly came out gunning in the first half against Texas A&M. Not so much really in the second half. Aaron Peters has more in our Razorback Nation report.
And we'll certainly take it.
Thank you, AP. After a wild one on the collegiate gridiron, there's some shakeups in the national rankings. Ohio State jumps to #1 after Alabama loses. The SEC may not have the top spot, but there are plenty of them still in the top 25. Auburn is now the top-ranked team in the SEC. It's 7. Bama drops all the way down to 8th. LSU and South Carolina round out the top 10. Arkansas actually drops to 12th after their win in the Southwest Classic, and Florida plummets to 22nd after their loss to the LSU Tigers. And while on the topic of rankings, new rankings are out for Arkansas high school football. Bentonville is the new #1 in 7A. El Dorado still tops in 6A. The Pioneers of Batesville maintain their top spot. Shiloh Christian overtakes Pulaski Academy again to take back their #1 in 4A, and Rivercrest and Magnet Cove still reign on the top in 3 and 2A classifications. And you can join myself and Fearless Friday's Laney Beavers on Fearless Friday Underground. We're going in depth across the state, looking at all the rankings for all the classifications, breaking them down, looking at the big games of the week. That's Fearless Friday Underground. Just go to fearlessfriday.com and click on the Underground tab. With 2 weeks to prepare for the Tennessee Titans and coming off a big win over in-state rival, the Houston Texans, Dallas Cowboys were headed back on the right track, right? Cowboys hope some of that hog magic will rub off there in Jerry's world, but not on this play here as Tony Romo picked by Alteron Werner. He's going to take it all the way down to the 2. Titans would eventually score, but Romo leading the comeback. He's going to hit his favorite target coming up right here. Jason Witten, 18 yards for the score, tied at 27. Last seconds of the game, Cowboys down. Could Romo lead another drive for the Cowboys? Well, not really. Picked off, ices the game right there. Cowboys drop to 1-3 on the year as they lose a tough one to Tennessee, 34-27. And in other news, baseball going on. Rangers still can't put away the Rays, so we're going to see Cliff Lee. That's always nice.
That is fun,
taking them on in Game 5, and Eric Hinsky almost pulled the Braves out, but they kind of blew it there in the 9th inning, so they're actually down 2-1 in that series.
All right, so more baseball on the horizon.
Important baseball and another week of football.
Okay, great. Well,
with a decent senior year, Reggie Arnold could rewrite history without a pen and leave his mark not just on the ASU record books, but on the NCAAs.
Read the D. What's my play? Explode off the ball.
Reggie Arnold tries to keep it simple on the field, and so far it's worked. Already with 3 1,000-yard rushing seasons, he's vying to become only the 8th player in NCAA history to rush for a 4th 1,000-yard season.
Yeah, it's a big deal, you know. Opportunity to make history at a program, you know, it's something that every kid dreams of, leaving their name in the history books.
We take a lot of pride in what our players are able to accomplish individually.
At 5'9", Reggie Arnold is shorter than your prototypical running back, but it's his strength that makes him a menace to opposing defenses.
You can put him up against any defense in the country. You know, no matter what jersey they're wearing, he's still himself. You know, he's still, 220 pounds. He's strong. He's fast. You know, you've got to make that tackle.
He has to utilize his strength. Quick on his cuts, has a great burst at the line of scrimmage.
Handoff, Reggie, off left guard, into the end zone, touchdown.
The Red Wolves have a long-standing tradition of great running backs and have had a 1,000-yard rusher every year this decade but one. And it's the fear of not living up to that bar that drives Arnold.
We have a running back tradition here. That's something that we take pride in as a position, and the coaching staff takes pride in, and so you don't want to be that guy that messes up that streak.
An even bigger testament to what Arnold could accomplish is the fact that he's played through nagging injuries.
Reg is a very tough young man. You know, he's been able to focus those things out. So maybe his most outstanding attribute is just being able to play with pain.
It just shows, just how tough he is. You know, he doesn't let anything hold him back.
Regardless of his output this year, Reggie Arnold will no doubt take his place amongst the greatest Red Wolves of all time. And when people see the big A in state, they will certainly think of Reggie Arnold.
Maybe one day these guys around here will remember Reggie Arnold.
And on top of that 1,000-yard mark, Reggie Arnold only needs 738 more yards to become ASU's all-time leading rusher. That mark currently held by ASU Indian former great Richie Voigt, who played for the team from 1950 to 1953. Arnold begins his pursuit of history September 5th. They always say when you're filling your bracket out, you watch out for that 5-12 matchup. That's what we got going on here tonight. Number 5, Arkansas State taking on number 12, UALR. And you'll remember these two teams split the season series, each winning on their home court.
Where can I get me some of those pants, those John Daly pants? 'Cause
You
they
know,
are
I'm not
awesome.
too sure, and for you, possibly, I probably wouldn't recommend them, and really for anybody for that matter. Now, this is the first ever trip to the title game for the Beavers as compared to the 7th for the Shiloh Christian Saints, who, by the way, are the defending champions.
Football is
awesome.
knocking at the door. Time to let him in, get him a burger and some cheese dip.
Sounds good to me, and delicious also.
Yeah, you make sure that pad guy's actually doing some work. You need to crack the whip on him.
Arkansas's doing pretty well in the pros when it comes to the postseason.
Just can't seem to get over the hump there. We got to get a ring.
Well,
we got to
we'll
get a
hope for
ring
Joe.
eventually. Hopefully Joe can bring it home. The Alabama Crimson Tide has held the #1 ranking in college football for most of the past 2 years. But the tide will be turning on #1 after Alabama got rolled in South Carolina. This game all about Alshon Jeffrey for South Carolina. He had 7 catches, 127 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The Gamecocks, as a team, put up 35 points on the #1 ranked defense in the country. Too much game in the Cocks. They knock off Bama big time, 35-21 in this one. Cameron Newton putting on a clinic against Kentucky tonight, passed for 210 yards, ran for 188, scored 4 times. Tigers hit a field goal, though, as time expires just to eke out a victory over the Cats, 37-34 in that one. Georgia Bulldogs blitzed the poor Tennessee Volunteers, only holding them to 269 total yards, 260 of which came through the air, so that means only 9 rushing yards in the game for the Vols. Not going to win too many doing that. UT doesn't. They lose big to the Bulldogs, 41-14. Heading in today, the Texas Rangers had 2-0 lead over the Tampa Bay Rays. If the Rangers pulled off the win today, it would be their first ever postseason series win for them. But the Rays are not going to go quietly into the October night. Former President George W. Bush on hand watching the team he used to own. Low-scoring game tied at 1. Bottom 7, Ian Kinsler. He uncorks a shot to left field. That's inside the pole, over the fence. Rangers take the 2-1 lead, but top 9, Carl Crawford providing the insurance for the Rays. That shot made it 4-2. Put the champagne on ice. The Rays live to fight another day. They win Game 3 of the ALDS, 6-3 the final. Also, LSU, some SEC scores. Topped Florida. Crazy game right there.
Yeah.
A little fake field goal. Oh, it was nuts, but LSU wins that one. They are now the new leaders of the West, so that boot game just got a little bigger.
That's right. We're looking forward to it. Thank you, Jay.
You betcha.